All right, hello out there in cryptocurrency land. Welcome back to Real Crypto. Thanks for joining me here today. Okay, so we got Bitcoin sitting here 93.22 currently, and there's a few things going on. I'm not going to spend too much time on Bitcoin. I want to talk about some other altcoins and also a coin that I think two coins that I think could be taken off here pretty soon. So, first things first, and to make a long story short, because I've already recorded this video several times, I think that Bitcoin it remains in this choppy market for quite some time. Until we see a resolution of this low volume scenario here, all right, until we see some nice volume in one form or another, up or down, we're pretty much going to be in a trendless market, all right? And I think this trendless market continues for the foreseeable future, and I think that I think it's going to be a little difficult to hold Bitcoin and make some money. Now, if you're going to trade Bitcoin, that's a different story, however. If you're going to trade Bitcoin, that's a little bit of a different story. You can kind of buy the lows and sell the highs. That's what you do when you're in a choppy market. Also, there's a rising channel here in Bitcoin. I thought I'd get that one out of the way as well. We topped out here just shy of $10,000, kind of bringing in some buyers, and they're trapping a little bit, not too much. As you see here, the volume is very low. And just to put things in perspective for the volume, we haven't seen this type of volume going back over to, I believe it's the 11th of November, 19,000 average volume on the GDAX. And for such increase, for such increased interest in cryptocurrencies, you definitely would expect the volume to remain high, but it's just not. It's now at 18,000. You can see this blue number right here. That's the average volume. So 18,000 currently. I think yesterday was 19,000, so it's dropped a blip. Yeah, it's dropped a little bit there, but the volume was 10K. Volume today 7K, 10K yesterday. 8K, 9K, 11K. We're really dropping down in terms of volume. Usually when you have a low volume scenario like this, something is bound to happen. The problem is you never know when it's going to occur. All right, so I don't know when this is going to break up or break down. The rising channel leads to the fact that we may possibly break down. But a good volume spike could take us upwards up towards this 11.5 level that we've been looking at over here for quite some time now. We talked about possibly getting up here, completing this Adam and Eve pattern, and I don't know if it will or won't happen, but the volume is going to have to step in one direction or another to really get us going again. Until then, we see choppiness in Bitcoin. You're going to have to go to the lower term time frame to really make any money. There's no breakouts to be had here. It's a choppy market. Now that being said, we do have some strength in a few larger altcoins. Bitcoin Cash having a pretty nice rally here, living up over its recent highs. You can see right there, I have a resistance line up here at about 2400 for Bitcoin Cash, right here to where it broke down. You see that breakdown? Those tend to be good points of resistance. And let's zoom in here a little bit. We have our most recent support and resistance line here at about the 1550 level. 1545 is where I have it drawn here. The 1550 level here so far being respected, and maybe we move here up here to 2400. That'd be a pretty nice gain. I actually haven't done the percentage on that yet. Nice 53% gain in Bitcoin Cash if we can get moving. If that does happen, I would probably anticipate Bitcoin moving to the upside as well. Now, Ethereum, another coin that's had some really nice moves. Higher volume than Bitcoin for sure. Definitely much higher volume than Bitcoin. Good green volume candles coming in here. A lack of red candles on this daily chart leads to bullish action. And you can see we're higher here sitting at 754, coming right up to a resistance line at about the $830 level, which coincides with an interesting formation that we noticed over here back towards late February, where we had just this very, very tight sideways action and the subsequent rollover to the downside. So here again, we're seeing a place where price breaks down, becoming resistance. And if you look at Bitcoin Cash, these are actually in the same areas. I don't know if they broke down at the same time, March 6th. Let's see if Bitcoin Cash broke down from its... No, didn't break down from its... Oh, it didn't have a frozen rope. It was Litecoin that had that rope as well. Litecoin had a very similar pattern right here, and they both broke down on March 6th. So very similar tight sideways action here, broke down on March 6th as well. And you can see the weakness in Litecoin, not even anywhere close to up here at its 210 level where it broke down, sitting down at 159, showing the general weakness with Litecoin and with Bitcoin, because we know Litecoin is kind of a sister proxy for Bitcoin, if you will, but very, very weak action in Litecoin. And getting back to Ethereum, Ethereum looking much healthier. Again, getting back up to that kind of frozen level at the $830 level, coming down, pulling down on albeit lower volume. You see this red volume spike with the wick to the downside. That implies there's some buying there. So there's some bullishness in Ethereum to be had here. Probably a couple more days and we may be up and over this 830 level if we can keep going. I think that happens regardless of what Bitcoin does. I think Bitcoin may still be choppy by the time Ethereum breaks higher. Hopefully Ethereum can get back into the point where it is its own market. If you recall back here, I think December 17th was the day Bitcoin topped, and then Ethereum kept going for another 100%. So, during a bunch of Bitcoin FUD, Ethereum found its own market, and I hope we can have the same thing happen here again with Ethereum. I think that would be overall good for cryptocurrencies if Ethereum can find its own footing. And to that note, I just want to touch on EOS. So EOS has their switch over to their main EOS tokens happening on June 1st. Actually, I believe it happens the 2nd or 3rd. There's like a day gap there or something. And May 9th is where we are today. And EOS not breaking down at all from these high levels, sitting at the $23 as its peak high, coming back down to $17.80. Excuse me. You could anticipate EOS having another big run up prior to that June 1st coin swap. I think they're accumulating EOS like a mofo, and I think that they really, really want this coin. So if this breaks up, I definitely think you buy EOS here, whether you want the mainnet coins or otherwise. But as you can see here, we have a trend line. We have a trend line right here. If we can break above that trend line, I think that would be a very good buy for EOS. Now, if we break below this trend line, obviously I think that's a different scenario, and we'll have to discuss that if and when that happens. So this is one of the coins I wanted to talk to you about in terms of coins that have a potential to run. Another one that I think really has a potential to run is a coin called AE. Now, this is AE on Binance against Bitcoin. If you look at it on CoinMarketCap, it has a little bit of a different chart, but they both have this beautiful rise and this beautiful flag. This is a bull flag, or in this particular chart pattern, it is a cup with a handle with Bitcoin there. So there's your cup. There's your handle. If you've ever wondered what a cup with handle looks like, it looks exactly like this. And this is a gorgeous cup with handle. This has a lot of accumulation on the way up. Nice pause, low volume within the handle. This is a textbook cup with handle pattern. You can pin this to your wall. Odds are AE is going to have a major move. I don't know if it's going to move today or tomorrow or in a week from now, but you keep an eye on AE. Don't let it out of your sights. Maybe take a little bit of a position just as a defensive buy, to be quite frank with you, because this is a tremendously good-looking coin. Another one that's working really, really well right now is ZIL. It's a little extended to get involved. As a matter of fact, it's going a little parabolic on you. But the members of the Power Hour and the Slack channel have been, talking about ZIL for quite some time, and it's nice to have a coin finally make a really nice run. There's a nice cup with handle base right here. The breakout happened over the 1200 Satoshi level. We're up here 62% higher. ZIL continuing. I would not take a position up here. It's getting much too vertical, but I know you guys are going to come across it if you haven't already thought about buying it. I think it does get higher, but I think it's a risky buy just due to the fact that it is so extended. Even though we did just come out of a nice little base here. Now there's a nice base here. There's a nice buy right there at the 1815 level. All right, so it's even a little extended from that. You're up 8%. If you're buying up here, you're basically gambling. You're going to have to be very, very strict with your sell rules at this level. ZIL does have a tendency to kind of throw back into bases as well. But I did want to mention ZIL. And another one I want to mention that's looking really good is ELF. Let's go to the daily on ELF. Let me set this up here for you. Sorry I don't have this done ahead of time. All right, now ELF I think is probably going to give us a good run. It kind of ICO'd, had kind of an ICO run, came all the way back down to the ICO base, and subsequently we've been trying to get back over this level at the 20,000 Satoshi level, 20,500 Satoshi level. I'm sorry, looks like 20,700 Satoshi level. If we can get back above this, I think it's off to the races for ELF. And right now, sitting at 1750, if you go down to the smaller term time frames on ELF, it's really starting to pick up. You see that big high volume candle? Looks like about 4 hours ago. Keep an eye on this ELF coin. I think ELF definitely could run, even just getting up to these highs here is 31%. You have a 10% risk. That's a 3-to-1 risk reward right here. I don't like the 10% risk. If you can get it on a pullback, that would be great. Otherwise, the next high volume candle to the upside, I say you can go ahead and pick up some ELF here. It's due a good run. So AE and ELF, ladies and gentlemen, keep your eye on these two coins. I think these are going to do your accounts good. And I want to thank you for joining me today. It's been a while since my last video. I've actually been sick, so I haven't really been posting at all or doing much of anything. But I'd like to thank you for joining me. Thanks for sticking with me. Please like the video. Please check out our Power Hour at real-crypto.com. You can check out the Power Hour link there and get some more information about what we do every single day in the Power Hour. So, all right, guys, thanks for joining me today. I appreciate it. I will see you next time.